Today's special public avalanche warning in British Columbia, and we have significant snow coming to southern British Columbia this weekend. So let's go.
This is bad news. My God.
Falling out right now.
Anything could happen. Wow. I'll watch the video later.
Feel the heat. I need more nights. I need water.
Ain't dry mopping this.
Special public avalanche warning right there. We'll have a look at that in a second. So everything's in weird hatches. More snow and wind arriving. Wednesday night means avalanche danger remains high. Persistent slabs triggered for riding, and we're looking at high and considerable all through the weekend. Here in the Caribou, other regions avoid avalanche terrain. Considerable high. We're on high. We're all very high. Everywhere high. High down there, Sparwood. What about down there in Waterton? Next, the storm is upon us. It's happening right now. Great time. It is snowing down there right now, so conditions are high down there. Special public avalanche warning in effect for most of BC and Alberta forecast regions for February 29th through the end of Monday, March 4th. Recent storms have deposited a significant layer of snow across Western Canada. This new snow sits on prominent weak layers established during drought conditions in February. In some areas, there is more than 1 weak layer. As the active storm period passes, now widespread natural avalanche activity will slow down. However, human-triggered avalanches remain likely. The structure of the weak layers takes different forms across our forecast regions, but is highly problematic and reactive in all. Remote triggering of avalanches on this layer will be possible. Recreationists should not underestimate the instability of these weak layers or their potential to produce large avalanches. Although the new snow is appealing, making conservative terrain choices will be an important strategy for all backcountry users over the next few days. A good way to do this is by sticking to lower angle slopes, avoiding overhead hazards, choosing smaller objectives that minimize the consequences of an avalanche. Backcountry users should always check the avalanche forecast. Everyone in backcountry party needs the essential rescue gear, transceiver, probe, shovel, and the training how to use it. The front leaps. The frontal system will continue to move across the southern interior ranges today. That's happening down South Rockies late this afternoon. Moderate to heavy snow down there. South and east of the South Columbia. Strong to extreme ridgetop winds will ahead of the front. Will ease eventually. Freezing levels will rise to 1,500 meters. So warming up, the weather pattern will transition to an upper trough offshore and upper surface ridge of high pressure over the interior today. Onshore flow will bring flurries to the coastal mountain ranges. The ridge of high pressure will bring some sunny breaks over the interior ranges. The upper trough will remain over BC through the weekend, bringing mainly cloudy, scattered flurries to the region. So we have quite a bit of snowfall that we think is going to happen down south this weekend. Quite a bit. You know, if Kamloops gets 10 centimeters, I won't be surprised. We will be, as we come into Friday, looking at, cloudy in the north, perhaps, few flurries down south. And that will, as we look into the weekend, more or less, unsettled down south for sure. Partly cloudy conditions are expected in the northwest regions of the coast. Band of snow move over the interior ranges on Saturday with locally light, moderate snow amounts. The band will weaken on Sunday with isolated light flurries across interior ranges. So some snowfall, nothing too crazy, but now I'll have a look. Next 5 days, we can go next 3 days just to be, not a huge change. So, okay, here we go. Next 5 days, we'll say, when you look at some places like, okay, in the mountains, 81 centimeters, that's possible, that happens, sure. What about down in the rest of the interior? Maybe 18 centimeters Salmon Arm, maybe Vernon by next Monday, Kelowna maybe 8 centimeters. Penticton could see 22, they're saying. Nakusp 27, Revelstoke 35, Golden 30 centimeters. So some large snowfall totals still coming. Kamloops 10. Lillooet, could you see 27 centimeters? It is possible. Look at the GFS and see how it disagrees. Well, it's got some slightly different numbers, but look, Nelson 38 centimeters. So GFS seems to think that Nelson's going to get it pretty good. Nakusp 34 centimeters, Trail 35, and whatnot. So all that Kootenay's area, you're looking at pretty good snowfall. And if you go to the island in the mountains, sure, could be some pretty good snow. But if we look at new rain, we got that new. So this is kind of what happened this week with the storms that hit the coast. People were really, major snowstorm. And I said, no, probably the rain's going to win. And that's what happened. Maybe 2 centimeters of snow fell and the rain took over. So when you see this, you see 49 millimeters of rain. And then you look and you see 43 centimeters of snow. It's probably not going to be both. Okay. And knowing the weather in British Columbia, what's it going to be? It's probably going to be the rain that wins out. So when we're looking at some of the snow depth, even, of course, up in the glacial areas, big time snow, but we have in the mountains, over a meter. This isn't big snowfall totals for what I'm used to seeing in BC, but it's definitely the best we've seen so far this winter. That we actually have the entirety of the interior. There may be some exceptions around Kamloops, or maybe it's a little grassy. Okay, I can handle that. But some of those places may still have 5 centimeters. So we finally have a situation where throughout the province there's snow on the ground all over, and that's great news. Things have been a little wetter lately, and could still be that way. I'm going to be putting together a forecast pretty soon. I keep saying I'm going to do this, sort of a long range forecast, looking at the state of our oceans. And kind of what I'm looking at is like. If we come into a pattern where we've had this El Nino, where we've had warm temperatures up by Japan, warm temperatures in the North Pacific, and we got warm temperatures still at the equator, and now we're seeing that maybe some of this La Nina pattern may be starting to well up down here. However, that isn't changing the fact that we're still more or less in this setup, and this warm set up in the North Pacific and the equator at the same time. That sort of harkens back to 1991. So I'm looking back to 1991 and saying, what kind of summer was that? Well, the problem with it is, and why I've been sort of stalling on this, and maybe I can get my meteorologist friends to give me some ideas on this one, is that we are 1.5 degrees hotter on average across planet Earth right now than we were in 1991. So it makes the real problem of, can we actually look at 1991 and say that we have anything like that happening? So big time storm is happening still in eastern Canada. That's been going up. If you recall, 2 nights ago, we had strong thunderstorms pass through Ontario. We had thunderstorms yesterday. We had flash freezes. Thunderstorms move up into northern Quebec. We had tornado outbreaks all across the Midwest in places like Illinois, Michigan, Indiana, stuff like that. Here's our Alberta Clipper starting to form. One of them. And it's pushing up, so we got snow moving up through the prairies right now. That should help, I would hope, moderate the temperature a little bit for them there. And as you can see, it does. Yeah, so it's not going to be quite the extreme cold that they've been having there. That's really nice. And we got the low, as I was saying, it's drawing in lots of precipitation from the Pacific Ocean. And slamming itself mostly up California, Oregon, Washington State coastline, getting some snow into Idaho, getting a little snow passing into Montana. Sure, snow in southern British Columbia, but as we look at Friday, most of that snow is not in the Caribou. Very little in the Prince George region. Very little in the Peace. But you do have a little bit moving through. So finally getting some snow up in the Peace too as well. But very little. Nothing crazy going on overnight on Friday. But certainly Saturday morning, southern BC, they're going to have that. This is that pulse that will make for the larger snow totals in Penticton right there. You can sort of see that sort of line. Kamloops, Kelowna Trail, all falling in that. Cranbrook, all falling into that area of snowfall. So Saturday looks to be a pretty snowy day for a lot of you. Some pretty good snowfall rates. Nelson, these are in 3-hour chunks. These are 1-hour chunks on this graph. So centimeter an hour. Revelstoke could be getting 2.5 centimeters an hour. So that is a Squamish 3.4. So some pretty heavy snowfall at times when it does fall. We may see it scattering here in the Caribou Mountains, but I'm not holding my breath for it. But yes, Peace region, you will be getting some snow this weekend, it looks like, even if it's not a lot. And when our storm does finally come across the prairies in full earnest on Sunday, some big time snow totals through Yorkton, Estevan, Prince Albert, Cold Lake, Grand Rapids, possible freezing rain in Manitoba, Northern Ontario, heavy rains in Ontario. We get that next round of thunderstorms as this low drags in behind us. It's going to be pulling cold air down, and we got warm air, as you can see, going straight up from the southerly. So that could make for some thunderstorm stories for the Wisconsin area, Iowa, places like that. Still on Monday, snowing in southern British Columbia. So we do have snow happening, and this whole area that's getting the snow Monday, if that still happens, that is an area that's been incredibly in drought for quite a long time. Here's that Monday. We see that same line. It's the tail that's dragging around from that low. We see that helps produce another line of thunderstorms that may affect some of those same regions that just got hit pretty hard this last week. Missouri, Illinois, such as that. Look at that. Chicago might see some good ones. Michigan might see some good activity. Fort Wayne, Indianapolis might see some good activity. Head right down to Alabama, Mississippi, and now we're on the start of another large severe storm outbreak is what that is looking like it's going to be. So early next week in the United States, severe storm outbreak, and that is related to the storm that it all connects together. It kind of came here and then made this and this, and then it made a big tail, and that tail drew the air up. And look at that, how a little storm that passes through BC can result in nasty, destructive weather for the Americans. And you know, where it could be that some of that does pass up into Ontario. So far, thinking is it won't, but we'll look to see if that changes this week. But definitely Atlantic Canada through next week. What's it looking like for temperatures for us? Already today, we do have 22s and 21s in the far north at this hour, but we have 5 degrees. It's above freezing down south, so that's possibly why we have some rain falling down there right now on radar. Have a look tonight. I'll turn this off again just so we can get a better look. We could maybe see minus 15s in Williams Lake, minus 17 tonight. It's still this blast of cold air, this big air. It's not letting go. So we have had some cold nights, minus 19, minus 18s, Prince George. Down south, maybe above 0 during the daytime. But there's that cold air not letting go. And it's right as these storms try to move out of Alberta, the cold air is just going to want to suck right back in. So unfortunately, 21 below at 1900 on Monday. That's not cool. That's cool. As in, that's not awesome, is what I mean to say. Monday, we are probably going to see some up to 26 below in Prince George Monday night. So that, that's pipe freezing weather. 27s. Okay. When does the temperature get better? When, I thought that when we had all this weather coming in, we would see the temperature get beaten back, and it's really looking like it wants to hold on this week. It's really looking like it wants to hold on. So I expect winter-like temperatures still this week. Meteorological spring starts tomorrow. However, March 1st is meteorological spring in the Northern Hemisphere. Today is leap year. I look at my next 7-day forecast. These temperatures aren't cool, in my opinion. They're not awesome. They're cold. I say cool because I'm from the 90s. 24, 20, yeah, so some shitty temperatures heading up. Pleasant spring days, the normal in BC. Come on, Dr. Doug Gillum, what are you saying? National Spring Overview, once again, El Nino to blame. Dr. Doug Gillum still thinks the La Nina is coming. Shift from El Nino to La Nina is primary influence global weather patterns occurring during traditionally turbulent seasons suggests the upcoming season will lack clear and stable character. Clear and stable character. Global temperatures above average. Predominate over cold conditions for majority of Canadians, with the exception of Eastern Canada, notably Atlantic Canada, or such as a warm will be closely balanced with icy chills. Above normal temperatures expected for spring 2024, they're saying. Okay, we'll see. On the other hand, it's drier than normal. Winter may face an early start to wildfire season. We'll see. Drier weather across significant portions spanning British Columbia, Northern Alberta. Spring forecast precipitation below normal for BC, above normal for central Manitoba, below normal out east. So that's still very El Nino-like. Below normal. Provincial breakdown. British Columbia, March will cool off, unsettle much needed snow for alpine regions. Spring flooding is less of a concern with below normal snowpack. Negative side of the pleasant spring weather, below normal winter snowpack, above average spring temperatures likely result in shorter ski season, heightened risk of early start to wildfire season. Okay. And hey, Jacqueline, good to see you. It's been a while. Okay. So more or less, that's kind of what's going on right now. But special public statement for anybody who's don't go in the backcountry this weekend. You're just going to get fucking killed, okay? I'm Joey Only, Caribbean Weather Dude. Thanks for coming to the channel. Please hit like, share, subscribe, tell a friend. Just a guy who likes talking about the weather, and I like to share what I know. So if you enjoy it, come again. Bye.